Sagittarius, born and raised in North Carolina. Um, I've always been spiritual, always kind of felt like I had a deeper knowing. And that's not like above anybody else, less than anybody else, just for me. I feel like a deep sense of connection with my creator, my spirit guides, my ancestors, and all that. And I feel like I can channel messages through them. Um, and hopefully tell people what they need to hear. I know oftentimes I've told myself what I needed to hear, what other family members needed to hear. So I do that by way of cards. I use tarot cards and oracle cards. And I also just channel things as they come to me. So it's not all just focused on the cards, but we're just gonna try something new and do a little mix of everything. Got my Palo Santo, so let's go ahead and light up. You know what I mean? Any of y'all light up? I'm kidding. This is what I'm talking about. Although no judgment, if you do partake in any other activities, just do what's healthy for you. That actually might be something I table and come back to later. It's toasty, nice and toasty. So I'm just gonna cleanse the space, cleanse my energy before I get into it. Here's some Fredo. Yeah. So we're just gonna get into it. So, like I said, this is my first time, but there are things that I think should be done. So I'm just gonna cleanse the table. I've already wiped it off with this disinfectant spray with like sage, all-purpose cleaner, peppermint and sage. No sponsor. But I also have these little vials of essential oils. So we got neroli oil, and we have eucalyptus lemon, which both of those are supposed to help with connectedness, nurturing, understanding, compassion, like deep understanding of self. And I feel like that's important for the sake of what's happening today. Especially since we're reading some cards. These messages may resonate for you, they may not. I'll never ask you to try to make anything fit by saying anything specific or it sounds close to your situation. Don't think that I'm trying to tell you what to do. Because who am I? I don't know. But, just going to start out. I have a couple more decks behind me, but the two that I grabbed are my Mother Peace deck by Karen Vogel and Vicky Noble. It's the mini round tarot deck, and then I have an oracle deck, Woodland Wardens by Jessica Rowe. I think she's a Tennessee native, so for all my southern folk, very southern, very, very southern. Oh, I never even saw this, but on the side there's like a review from Alice Walker, of course the author of The Color Purple and many other great books and novels and essays. The Mother Peace Tarot has been a wise and loving oracle, a clear mirror also that constantly shows the truest face. So what we're trying to do is get some truth in. Yeah, so let's just get into it. I don't really have like a set system yet. I'm I'm working on that. But we just vibing out and seeing what happens. I ask that the energy be pure, be cleared out, any negative energies, attachments be removed from this reading, and that are removed from anyone who's viewing, including myself. We want positive messages, insight, inner knowing, telling you things that you already may know about yourself and the things that you do need to know. If it resonates, it resonates. If it does not, do not try to make it fit. But we just want positive energy, downloads, and communications from higher sources of vibration, love, and light. I move with peace, love, and tranquility only. I do get a little spicy, but we move with peace, love, and tranquility. And I'm only going to tell you the things that I think you need to hear or that I need to hear. With that being said, ancestors, spirit guides, holy angels, guardian angels, and the Most High, please bless this reading and protect it from anybody that's trying to do some crazy stuff. We protect it over here, so like don't even try it. It's good. It's good. But sorry if that was loud. I'll put a warning next time. To start off, I have a couple of little like kind of bookmark ticket things that I get from this shop that I go to in my local area. But they have these little phrases and like reminders printed out on small pieces of paper. I have a couple of them. These are the main two that I was gonna read, but then I found more in my orange notebook here, so we're gonna read those too, because they kind of like literally fell out, and I was like, dang, I probably need to say something about that. But the first one says, a person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected. I think that rings true. That's true. I can attribute that to myself. If I feel like I'm appreciated, I'm always going to go the extra mile for you, even if you don't ask me to. But if I feel like I'm being questioned or judged, or I'm not being valued at what I can give you at this moment, I'm going to pull back and be like, well, you can't even accept me at where I am right now. Why would I give you more? But that gets complicated, and there's things that there's nuance in between that. So we can dive into that a little bit, and that'll probably very much well read into the cards. But the next one says, a strong person is not the one who doesn't cry. A strong person is the one who cries and sheds tears for a moment, then gets up and fights again. One more time. A strong person is not the one who doesn't cry. A strong person is the one who cries and sheds tears for a moment, then gets up and fights again. So, and I almost feel like those two go together. There's going to be more that I read out. But just from that standpoint of we do things for people when we feel like they either want us to do it, they expect us to do it, or like we just want to do it for ourselves. We either do things to make other people feel good or to make ourselves feel good. Half the time when we're doing things to make other people feel good, we feel obligated to do so. And it's not coming from a genuine place. So if you're going above and beyond for people, it's usually because you feel like you either owe them that, or you just feel like they've been so good to you and you don't mind doing it. Let me back up a little bit. You don't mind doing it because you know that they're good people and you don't mind sowing into their life or giving them a little bit extra. Cairo's running around. You got the zoomies right now. But yeah, we go above and beyond for the people we care about. But sometimes we also have this tendency to go above and beyond to people who don't deserve it. Or we go above and beyond to get the attention from people that we crave, but we don't necessarily need. But because we have an attachment to them, our brain tells us that we need to go above and beyond for them, even if they're not willing to do it for us. That comes into the whole thing about imbalance. Like we have to make sure there's a give and take and a balance in our relationships. I've been dealing with that myself recently, having a test of that, and like reevaluating boundaries and what I'm comfortable with doing and what I'm not. But it's really more so about like knowing what's good for you and not overindulging into the pleasure of others, because yes, it's good to give to others, but we need to also give to ourselves. So why not give to ourselves a little bit extra rather than give it to the next person? There's nothing wrong with giving to other people and going the extra mile, but we also need to keep in mind that we need that love and attention back, and if we're not getting it from other people, we definitely need to give it to ourselves. And even if we are giving it to other people, there's nothing wrong with showing yourself a little bit of extra love, and just go that extra mile. Do more than that's expected for yourself. Like, treat yourself the best you possibly can. The second one, a strong person is not the one who doesn't cry. They're the one that cries, sheds the tears, gets back up, and continues fighting. People love to attribute strength with suppression, putting down emotions, oppressing ourselves, our inner child, quieting them down. It's not about that. Strength is about moving forward, assessing your situation, assessing how you feel about the situation, and moving forward and trying to grow from it. A lot of people, they get sad, and it's, everybody handles things differently. I've definitely had my moments, but a lot of people get sad and they let that sadness consume them and overtake them. And true strength isn't just wallowing in it. It's about working through it and processing. There's a lot of things in our lives that we've experienced. Some of us have more traumas than others. It's not about just focusing on that trauma and playing the victim. That's something I definitely want to talk about: victimhood or playing the victim. We are not victims when things happen to us or happen around us, or we're in situations that we cannot control. We are at God's will. We are at the will of the universe and the fates that play out. So when things happen to us, whether they're negative or positive, it's not about taking the place of the victim or the person that it's happening to. Yes, things do happen to us, but they're for our benefit ultimately. It's either to teach us a lesson because we are hard-headed and we didn't learn, or show things about ourselves and other people that are around us so we can then use that information to move forward with them or without them. Like in the example of like dealing with other people. But there's nothing wrong with like grieving and going through a process of sadness and feeling those emotions. It's important to feel your emotions at full speed and at full depth. You can't just like jump in the kiddie pool of your trauma in your life and the things that make you sad. Like, you can't just dip your toes in and be like, all right, I processed, because no, you didn't. You need to dunk your head all the way below water. For me, I'm not the best swimmer, so that sounds daunting, even just like in the sense of it being symbolic or anecdotal. But you have to submerge yourself completely in your emotions to come up and break the surface and be born again. I don't know if y'all are like movie buffs. I like movies, but there's a lot of symbolism and imagery that comes from like people literally being submerged in water and then coming and breaking the surface, and their head finally gets above water. Even just that idea in itself, you're finally treading water, like your head is above water, but you're still in the water. So it's like you have to break the surface and rise above those emotions and have awareness outside of the emotion and keep pushing. And that's how you keep going. You don't just, like I said, dip your toes in. You're not really making progress. You're not flexing that muscle. You're not working through those emotions. You're dabbling in them, but you're not going to make any real progress unless you fully submit to what your emotions are and process them that way. So there's nothing wrong. It's not weak to be emotional, to be sad, to be angry. Some of these are low vibrational energies that we have grown accustomed to because that's just the way our world works, unfortunately. But to use it to your benefit and raise the vibration is to understand why you're feeling what you're feeling. Half the time, what we feel goes back to love. It's all rooted back to love. because we loved too hard and we felt betrayed, or we loved someone a lot and we lost them. There's so many different examples, but ultimately, any negative feelings, you need to process them and go through them at your own pace. Um, if you all you can do is dip your toe in the moment, that's fine. But don't dip your toe in thinking like, oh, you took a bath, because you didn't. You still gotta wash off all that emotion, all that grit, and that trauma that has built up. You need to revisit it later. So eventually, it's gonna come knocking. It's healthy to talk about it with people, of course. I'm not, you know, or I'm not a professional of any sort when it comes to mental health, physical health. I'm not your guy for that. Not right now, at least. I don't have the licensure. But it's important to do the work on your own as well. So, because you can't be dishonest in like a therapy session, and they can tell you about it, but they can only tell you about so much of what you're willing to admit to yourself. So I think it's important to really understand why you feel what you feel, and then understand that it's okay that you feel that, and that you can transmute that energy, that feeling, into positive growth by having a higher level of understanding of what makes you upset, what makes you sad, what things make you happy, what makes you tick. It's all a learning experience. We live in this human experience, and we're here to learn, to grow, and to love. So as long as we're doing that for ourselves and for others, I think we're good. I know I just kind of spoke a lot. That was like about 10 minutes, 15 minutes worth of, but I just felt like that was very important. I know I needed to hear it at one point, and I'm sure there's people out there who might need to hear it. Let's start off with another piece. Let's get some general. Spirit guides, ancestors, please use me as a vessel to share important messages that the collective or anyone listening may need to hear. What is the general vibe? Oh. Okay, so we have the Four of Discs. Now, I'm fairly new to numerology and learning the breakdown of things, but the first card that came out is the Four of Discs. We're gonna keep going though. But as you can see, it's a woman like protecting her window, per se. And 4 is a number of protection. It's about safeguarding what you have and not letting anyone access it. Like, you can't come in. So you have to be very careful about the energy that you let in. And don't let anyone's energy that is not yours come into your space. That kind of goes into like boundaries and protecting your energy. Okay, so we have Justice, which is an 8 card, a major arcana card, Justice. Right? Let's read the 2 that we have so far. Let's read the major arcana first. So Justice, number 8. Mother Nature is unrelentingly just and fair, as we observe in the laws of karma, of cause and effect. Each action inspires a reaction. Everything we put out ultimately comes back to us. The Justice card, like the Greek goddess Themis, represents the natural balance and equilibrium within all movements of the universe. So there's going to be, in the vein of protecting your peace, there's going to be nothing but good things that come to you for protecting yourself. As soon as you step out and try to harm others, that's when things go a little bit left and the cause and effect comes back. It's still cause and effect when it's positive or negative, no matter what. It's all cause and effect. And I just saw 333 on the clock as I was saying that. It's all cause and effect. But you have to pay attention to the things that you dole out to other people in for the sake of your own healing. Um, because you'll very much get the same thing back. It may not be immediate, but it'll come back to you in some way, shape, or form. So just be mindful about if you are on a journey of like doing the work to heal through things, because I'm really thinking that's what this is about. I feel like a lot of us are hurting. We have to make sure we don't hurt others in the process of healing ourselves. And it's not our job to protect people's feelings. They're going to feel what they feel. They're going to think what they think. They're going to say what they want to say. So it's not about that. But it's just making sure your intention in creating boundaries and a healthy space for yourself doesn't exclude anyone else unnecessarily or like in a rude way. Sometimes you need to tell people to like back the hell off and, you know, get buck with them a little bit. But it in 444 as I say that, so like protect yourself. It's like you have to be conscientious about how you go about your growth, because judgment will come. Those people that have wronged you, they're gonna get their karma. There's a cause and effect for everything. Like some of you out here are dealing with situations that you should not be dealing with, and just because you started working on your peace, like working on your healing and focusing on yourself, people want to like latch on and try to like mess up things, and it's not right, and they'll get their karma. But the same way you may have done wrong to people, you're gonna get your karma too. But it's all, when I say like it's about learning, whatever we experience, negative or positive, we have to understand what makes us feel that way, grow through it and process through it. That way we can elevate and raise the vibration. But protect yourself in the process of doing that always. Like protect your peace always. Everybody else comes second. You have to focus on you because this is your lived experience. This is your life. You can't allow what other people say, think, feel, whatever, to dictate how you feel about yourself. You need to get right with yourself and know how you feel in here, who you are as a person, and here, everywhere. Like, you need to know. And I patted my heart. So, like, your heart space needs to be open and ready to receive any things that you may not realize about yourself, because the very things that you're experiencing now could just be cause and effect of the things that you've done in the past. And I'm gonna just be frank, some people get their ass whooped and they don't know why, but we don't often think that we're wrong when things happen to us. We don't think that we're the ones that are wrong. And it's not even so much that we did something extremely bad. It could just be the level of it was imbalanced, and there needs to be balance, and balance always finds its way back. There's always going to be equilibrium. That's how our universe works, as the card said, as the description said. So that's the Justice card, the first major arcana card to pop out. If you all know about Greek goddesses or Greek pantheon or whatever, the goddess Themis is the goddess of justice, and she represents natural balance and equilibrium within all movements of the universe. So all movements of the universe, that includes everything, the light and the dark. There's a cause and effect for everything. So just make sure you're putting out high vibrational energy in order to protect yourself and therefore get good things to come back to you. You don't do it strictly for that, to get good to come back to you. You do it because it sows into you and makes you feel better as a person. And not stroking your ego, but it just feeds your soul to be a good person to other people or to be a good person to yourself. But there's a cause and effect for everything. So you dabble in the dark, you dabble in the light, you're gonna get whatever way back respectfully. So we had the Four of Discs. That was the first card that popped out. I said that it was about protection and being careful who is coming up in your spot type shit. It's earth energy, north, physical things, body, work, and money. So some of y'all may be starting new projects, and you need to protect that work. Like, you need to protect your physicality so you can do the work. So again, that kind of sews into protecting your peace and getting right with yourself. Your body is your temple, and if you're like, let's say you're trying to be a self-run business owner, you need to make sure you're good before your business can ever be good. Because if you're the person running it and it's poisoned, your business is going to be poisoned as well. So make sure you focus on like really getting in with yourself and knowing what you want. Yeah, the disc is all about like just physical things, work, money. Some of y'all could be coming into money, but you need to protect. You need to protect because it's like gaining control. This is what it says: gaining control of your doorway, who comes in and who stays out. You need to set up those boundaries with people, and if they give you the ick, if it's somebody that you're trying to be in a relationship with and it's not working, don't force it to work. Kick them out and make sure they stay out if they don't need to come back. If there's somebody from your past that you missed, but there was a misunderstanding, and you know genuinely it was a misunderstanding and y'all could potentially work things out, it's okay to let people in. We just got done with Mercury retrograde, and some of y'all may have experienced exes coming back or past situations coming back around full circle, and you're like, oh, I'm just blocking all of that. Sometimes things come back around to us so we can learn from them. And I think oftentimes it's like, oh, I'm leaving that in the past, I'm never going to look back at it again, blah, blah, blah. That's cool and all, and sometimes that may be the best way to go. But you can still learn things from the past or past people that you dealt with. You don't necessarily need to get closure from people. You can get closure by speaking with God and your spirit guides and speaking with your inner self, your inner child, your higher self. You can get closure that way. You don't need other people. But sometimes it is okay to revisit the past just to get clarity and understanding, or to mend a wound that you may have unintentionally created with somebody. But yes, it says gaining control of your doorway, who comes in and who stays out. So be very mindful of what energy you're letting into your space, and exactly also what energy you're putting out, because that justice is going to balance out regardless, no matter what is going to come. Spirit, what else do they need to know for the highest good? This one fell on the floor. We got Priestess of Priestess of Discs. So this energy is still present. It's about material things. Let's see what this is about. And then we have the High Priestess that came out, another major arcana card. So some of you out there may be, because we have the High Priestess that came out immediately after the Priestess of Discs. So if I go back to this disc area and read what the Priestess is, because again, that's Earth energy, North. So North Node energy, physical things, body, work, and money. So it's Virgo season. So some of y'all may be really trying to get to the business aspect of the nurture and care of self, so you can then water and nurture other things. So let's read Priestess of Discs, which is water and earth energy. So I feel like that's very much yoga. I mean, very, very much Virgo, like I said, but any earth sign really. Being in the body, yoga, inner sight, fertile spark, and security. So and let me show you the card. Let me show you the card. This is what it looked like. Again, being in the body, yoga, inner sight, fertile spark, and security. I don't know if some of y'all are into yoga, but a good way to work through emotion is to feel it as it's happening and move your body. Transmute that energy. Move it all throughout your body, shake it out. I forget what the term for it is. I want to say somatic healing, but that may not be it, but that could resonate for somebody. Somatic healing. Move your body. Shake out the emotions that you feel. That doesn't mean shake it away and forget about it. you are actively working through and transmuting that energy that you feel to raise your vibration. If I feel anger, I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of punches in the air, lift my hands up, ask for forgiveness, whatever. Like, you need to move that energy up and out your body, because if it stays stagnant, it become cancerous. And I don't think we realize that most of the times when we fall ill, it's because of stress or things that we do to ourselves. Like, it's our diet, it's everything. I know I need to get on my Zoom with it, but we just really need to find that inner balance and that inner peace. And a good way to do that is through yoga and meditation. That's something I've been called to do a lot lately. So I don't know, this reading could be for me, it could be for all of us, it could be for you, it could be for, I don't know. Same difference. We all the same thing. We come from the same place. I am who you are who I am, I see you in me. So this high priestess, right after the priestess of discs. So again, make sure you're like focusing on your body, your health, especially if you're starting a new venture. You need to regulate your stress or anything as you're going through this new phase, because it's going to be different and it's going to be challenging. You need to find ways to get to center and to just really chill and like filter out all the negativity, the BS, the noise. Like, be careful of what you let in, because you're going to have to work through it regardless eventually. If you don't want to work through it now, you might have to work through it when you're 60. Some of y'all could be 60 and working through things that you still haven't processed. And you may never, until you actually sit down and be stubborn with yourself and do the work. But everyone's timing is different. You don't have to feel rushed or pressed to do anything. But if you want to make something of yourself that extends beyond yourself, that serves more than you, and it serves other people, you need to make sure you're right with yourself, because you're not going to be able to serve other people if you can't even like really heal what's going on in here. You know what I mean? It's possible, but it's going to be hard, and you're constantly going to be getting triggered over and over, just trying to be a good person and help other people. If you haven't healed what you've been through, you're just going to end up re-triggering yourself over and over and over. So you just got to find that why, figure out why you get triggered, and then work through it. So let's go back. So far we have the number 8 on the board, the number 4, and the number 2. All of these are even numbers. So that just tells me that the scales are about to balance out for somebody. Things are about to even out, because we have 4, 8, and then 2. And then the priestess of discs, that's let's see. We gotta go all the way to the front. High priestess. This is a card for it, and hopefully I don't, get in trouble or whatever for the imagery, because this imagery is very free and open. But the high priestess, like the moon, is watery and receptive. The changing female. So I'm a very open individual, but male, female, it's all energy to me. We have feminine and masculine energy. All of us possess it, but some of us, of course, have higher amounts than others. Some of us match our, sex assigned at birth. Some of us do not. So take that energy as it resonates. Just because I say female or feminine, that doesn't mean I'm specifically talking about a cisgender woman. You could be a man and you still have feminine attributes, which there's nothing wrong with. We all have it. It's just about the balance of it. And just because you have more energy than one other, that doesn't mean you're out of balance. It just means you're a more masculine or more feminine presenting person, or your energy is more masculine or feminine. But anyway, the high priestess, like the moon, is watery and receptive. The changing female aspect symbolizing intuition, the knight in the inner patience of one who waits for knowledge from within. Balance between polarities, holistic, a symbol of 2 in 1. She represents the Egyptian Black Isis and Sophia, the Greek goddess of wisdom. So there goes that another Greek goddess, and we also mentioned Egyptian African goddess Isis. So there could be a multitude of people that multitude of energies and sources of knowledge that you could reach out to if you look into Greek mythology. Hi Cairo, watch out, babe. Get down, bud. Get down. Hop down, babe. Thank you. There's a certain level of information that you can obtain just from like reading stories or accounts and mythologies, like specifically like Greek mythology and the origin stories of like certain deities, goddesses, gods, etc. But there's a lot that can be taken from those because the myths and stories that we hear, it's a manifestation of who we are as a people. Like they're stories that are almost anecdotal. Like you find these themes and these examples in everyday life. And I don't think people really realize that most of our history is a repetition. So stories, myths, fairy tales, they're some type of manifestation of things that have happened in real life. And because it's fiction or fantasy, we just write it off as myth and only that. But there's a lot of things that we can learn from it in our human lives and this human experience, and attribute it to us. So I believe we have Sophie and Themis for the Greek goddesses that were mentioned, as well as the Egyptian African goddess Isis. So it is very much mother nature, high priestess essentially. But in my experience, the goddess Isis is really about intuition, deep knowing, and unconditional love. So that ties back into protecting your peace, protecting your boundaries, knowing what is for you and what is not for you, and then expelling any energy that is not for you away. You gotta get it done, get it out your system, get it away from you, and never let it back in if you know it's not good for you. And so you have to use a high level of discernment to know what things work for you and what don't. It can't all be trial and error. Sometimes we need to make decisions proactively to protect ourselves. Because if we always just continue to try to learn the lesson or have God shove it in our face and just be like, you weren't supposed to do that, I'm gonna show you again just so you don't do it again. And like sometimes we're stubborn or we're hard-headed and we do it again. Really getting to know yourself is heightening your intuition and using your discernment to figure out what is for you and what is not. Cairo, if you fall, ooh, he's a little acrobat. He loves to like jump around and stuff. But maybe that's also, he trusts himself. He jumped from one ledge to the other. You can do the same. It's just about knowing, having the right judgment call and the right level of discernment to know what is for you and what is not. So let's see what else is coming out. These here. And I have notes in this book too, but I think I'm okay when it comes to referencing them for now. Spirit, what else do they need to know? What do I need to know? What do other people need to know? What's a message that can help? A couple fell out. A couple have turned over. I see a 4 and an 8 turned over in the deck, so I'm going to put those out since we've already seen those numbers. We have 4 of Wands and 8 of Discs. So this is the first time fire has been introduced to the energy. Everything so far has either been Major Arcana or a disc, so Earth energy. So we have an 8 of Disc, another Earth card, and then 4 of Wands. One that fell on the floor is 7 of Discs, so we have more disc energy. This one's about fertility. I can already tell off the bat. That's about fertility. And then we have 6 of Cups. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Discs. So it's very much new energy that I feel like y'all are stepping into. There's going to be a season of growth and understanding within yourself so long as you do the work. We have another one peeking out. The Magician. Let me put that at the top because I feel like that's really important. It's like a little Christmas tree, kind of. Or an arrowhead. I like to think of it as an arrowhead. Shout out to any indigenous folk, Afro-indigenous, native, however you identify. I like the imagery of an arrowhead. It's just like forward progress and movement. Or like knowing what you want and going for it. I really like that energy. Spirit saying stop. So let me put those down for a second and just run through because we literally pulled out 6 cards. So the first one was the Four of Wands. Again, 4 energy, that protection. That protection, 4 comes up a lot. 43 on the clock as I see it now, actually. I've been talking for 43 minutes. Spirit's leading me. Okay. So we have 4 of Wands. This is the first time we got fire energy showing up in the dang chat. So let's see what fire is about. Fire is definitely south side. South side, Sade. Okay, yeah, fire is the south. The life force, creative spark, and passion. And that's 4 of Wands. Fire, south, the life force, creative spark, passion. In the 4, it says play, celebration, and rejoicing, rites of passage, spring, adolescent vitality. Okay. So this card, play, celebration, rejoicing, rites of passage, spring, adolescent vitality. Then we have the 8 of discs that came out first. Or was it, I think I just flipped it over. The 7 of discs is actually what fell on the floor. So I'll read that first, 7 and then 8. Remember that disc energy is about material possessions, money, the body, doing work, like physical labor. So 7 of discs. 7 of discs, which is funny because, well, I'll just read it. 8 months pregnant, almost through a waiting period, could feel impatient. So I don't know about y'all, but there's a lot of babies popping up. There's a lot of babies popping up. It's that season. I don't know, some of y'all were just being real weird, and not weird. There's nothing wrong with conceiving. But I feel like January was a rebirth period for a lot of people. We are in the 8th month. December, January-ish, like if you're in the 8th month, you're in your final trimester, and you're about to pop within like a month, 30 days or whatever. So I know people in my personal life who have like recently just had babies, so but this could be like you've been waiting for this idea to manifest for a long time. You've been building up the wherewithal, the speed, the gusto, and you've just been waiting patiently. You might even at this point feel impatient, but you're almost there. You about to pop. It's right here. The baby is fully formed for the most part. It's just baking a little bit. You know what I mean? The fetus is already formulated. If we're gonna think about it from like an actual pregnancy standpoint, 8 months in, the fetus is formed. There's a whole living, breathing being inside of you. So what this just tells me, because it says 8 months pregnant, you're almost through a waiting period. Hey, stop that. It's okay. Just don't jiggle on door handles. You're almost through a waiting period. That's only like I almost feel like damn, spit it out. Maybe there's something that you've been wanting to say for a long time, or like I said, there's just been something that you've been wanting to do and you were waiting for the right moment. Your moment is almost here. And it's not so much like you have to wait for the right moment at all times, but your moment is coming and you'll know it when it happens, essentially. Just like when, more oftentimes than not, because childbirth is very serious and it can be complicated, God forbid, but you know when your water is you know when your water is breaking, you know when you're about to give birth. So with this card, this 7 of discs is basically telling me you're waiting and you've been waiting and you've been patient and you might be going impatient, but when that moment hits, you're gonna know it. You're gonna know it when it hits. And along with that fire energy, that's spark, that's passion, that's creativity. So it very well could be an idea that you've been sitting on and you're about to pull the trigger on it and you're about to let it be born into the world and let people have it. And I say let them have it. Don't let up on nobody, for real. Just let them have it. And then we have the 8 of discs immediately following that. It says you're on the path, apprentice, adept, having many skills, cooperation. So you know what you need to do, essentially. You've been waiting so long. You've been doing the maternity breathing. You've been going to therapy with your partner and doing the yoga maybe for this project that you're birthing. Like, you've been getting comfortable with your body, and you're like, I just want to get this out. You have all the tools that you need. You know everything that you need to do. You know everything that you need to do. There may be some things along the way that you have to pick up, just like young mothers and young parents have to learn along the way. You just don't know everything off the bat, but you have everything that you need in order to get started. So just start. Start when it feels right, and don't wait for the moment for it to feel right. The moment will feel right when it feels right. Just don't be caught up in like, oh, I gotta do it now, or that. No. Do it when it comes to you. When it comes to you and it feels natural, start working on it if you haven't already. Or if you feel like sharing it or developing it more, do it in that moment. Write down a note, put it in your notes, like write it down physically. Think about the logistics of it. There's nothing wrong with like planning. Just don't make it an anxious plan. Let it flow naturally, because you already have everything that you need. And you're on the path. You're an apprentice. Yeah. So just work with spirit. As spirit is guiding you, as whoever you pray to is guiding you, giving you the downloads, you be cooperative and you do things as you feel led to. Kind of like how I'm doing now. Like, I wasn't planning on doing this today for real. It is my grandmother's heavenly birthday. So something in me told me to like do something that I've never done before or put myself out there. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I unfortunately never got to meet her, but I feel her presence and her energy very strong, especially today. So you could just feel something with you, and you need to work with it, because you got the tools, you got the backup team. Just cooperate. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so the next card we pulled out was the 6 of Cups. This is the first time we're getting like pure water energy in here, because with the High Priestess we got water, with the Priestess of Disc it was water and earth, but this is strictly water right here. So we got the 6 of Cups. And let's also touch on the numerology, right? Four is stability. A square, defining boundaries and limitations, since we have a whole bunch of 4s. We have like, what, 2 or 3 4s? And then we have 2 8s. Yeah. Okay, so 4, stability, a square, defining boundaries and limitations. 7, the 7 of discs that we just read, the one about pregnancy. 7 is diversity in ideas, emotions, people, sorting out, inner reflection. So again, that ties all the way back to what I said at the beginning. You have to sort through your feelings, your emotions, your ideas, and everything to get right with self. Get rid of everything that does not align with your purpose or your goal, and keep the things that do, and develop the things that do. But don't be afraid to diversify your ideas or emotions. Feel what you feel, sort through it, and then like work on it. 8 is activity. So we got a lot of active energy in here. 2 8s. Activity, pursuing goals, gathering resources. To me, it sounds like you already got your resources for real. You could always gather more. You can gather experience and whatnot. Like, there's never anything wrong with that. But you have resources. You just need to, like, if y'all ever worked in like a store that had like a back, you know how you had to do like take stock and like do counts of products and stuff. It's almost like that. You have to make sure all your ducks are in a row, or like you got everything together, or you know what you have in your arsenal, so you can then use it properly. Like, if you don't know what you got, you can't use it. That'd be like going in a kitchen and getting the flour and the sugar confused and just putting baking powder all up in stuff that doesn't need to be in there. Like, you gotta know what you're working with in order to work with it. I'm hearing sufficiently, but really you need to have a level of proficiency if you want your goals to be like really solid. So it's okay to be sufficient. Like you are. It sounds shady. You are just enough. We want to strive for proficiency though, but just make sure you use the things that you already have in your tool belt to the best that you can. Essentially. Did I read Six of Cups yet? No. Okay, well, Six of Cups, the six in general, the number six, reaching a peak. Events take place quickly, a perfect moment. So, and that's coming immediately after, because the way I have it read, we have the Four of Wands here. That's what popped out, right? Then we have the Eight of Discs. That one was facing up as well. Then the Seven of Discs fell on the floor. So 8, 7, and then we got Six of Cups. We move from earth to water, which goes into that Priestess of Discs. The grounding energy is the disc, but there's always that water element, and that water element is saying it's about to reach a peak, like a fever pitch, and things will take place. Things will happen quickly and take place, and seem like they're zipping by. But your opportunity is gonna come, and it may seem like the window closes. There's always gonna be a window open. Just because I heard someone say on something, I think I was scrolling on Instagram or something, but I'm glad I stopped, because this dude said you can't be too stressed about whether or not a door is open, because if you do things the way you need to do and go at your timing, the door could very well be open by the time you make it to the door frame. You might not even have to put your hand on the handle to open the door. The door will be open or closed regardless. Sometimes you might get to the door and you gotta wait for it to open, but you're already at the door. If you never make your way to the door, you're never gonna know if it's gonna be open or not for you already. So you gotta do the steps. Another post that I saw is like, focus on the individual step and not the whole stairwell or the staircase or something like that. So that ties into the Eight of Disc. Like, take stock of what you got and move forward with it. And like, no, we got 5555 on the clock right now as I say this. Take stock of what you got and know that a change is coming. As long as you make a change, because 5 is about change. Let me just read that out. Breaking down form, erosion, changeableness. Yeah, like, you can't be too fixed on how an idea is going to happen. You need to be flexible and cooperative with how spirit is telling you how to move, how God is telling you how to move, how your inner child is telling you how to move. You gotta think outside the box and go with the flow. You gotta be quick on your feet in this world. You can't just stay stagnant, because if you're stagnant, you're not going anywhere. You're just repeating cycles. And if we're in a space of elevation and growth and like birthing new things into the world, you gotta take action. You gotta be actionable. But let's go back and read the Six of Cups specifically. Because water is West energy, deep emotions, and love. Orgasmic joy, excuse me, y'all. Orgasmic joy, peaking, past expectations come to fruit. So you could have very well had a vision of how things were going to go, and you're just trudging your way to that doorstep. And you're like, okay, like, I've been waiting for this, and then it happens. If you do the work, God is gonna move so quick in your life. He's done it for me. This happened to me multiple times. Once you actually apply yourself towards your goals and start doing what you want to do, God is gonna be like, okay, you did the groundwork, now let me do my work. God works in mysterious ways, he works miracles, but he doesn't do anything for no reason. So if you're not getting a situation, you might not be ready for it. If you feel like you get thrown into a situation, because these could be rapid changes, like I said, that might be coming. If you feel like you're thrown into a situation, God says you're ready. You may not feel like you're ready, but Spirit is saying that you're ready. So you just need to move with him, or move with your higher spirit, your higher being. Move with it and be cooperative. And just know that you already got everything that you need in order to be successful. You just gotta actually pull the trigger or shoot that arrow. Speaking of the arrow, at the knock, the part attached to the stem, This is what we got here. And it says Ace of Discs. Now, this is very much new energy. Of course, Earth is all through this. And I feel like it's only because we're in Virgo season. Like, not just only because some of y'all could be dealing with the Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus. Forgive me. Who's the other Earth sign? Capricorn? Or is that air? Child. I don't know about that one. I'm forgetting somebody. No offense. You're just as important. But we have Virgo and Taurus is coming out to be right now for real. So Virgo and Taurus energy heavy. We already left Taurus season like in May. We in Virgo season now. It's supposed to be a good time. I kind of got off track. I don't know what I was about to say. But the Ace of Discs, that Earth energy north, physical things, body work, and money. Again, it's newborn, a gift, beginning a new project. So if you got something that you've been working on and you just been afraid to like pull the trigger on it or like let it go, you need to go ahead and let it. Just let it fly. Just let that shit fly. Because this is what you look, it's like you just playing around right now. It literally looked like you just playing around. And there's nothing wrong with relaxing and resting. I'm not saying you have to be completely actionable, go, 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 go. You need to relax and rest and let things come to you. It's more so about taking stock of what you got and knowing how to use what you got when you need to use it. It's not always about using it when you, just because you got to use it. You just need to know how to use it. You catch me? You need to know how to use it and when to use it. Just like I said, you can have baking powder, you can have flour, and you can have sugar. You can know what they need to be done. You can, I'm getting mixed up over my words, so it's like, something don't want to come out. We're going to get to the bottom of that. But you can use the stuff in your repertoire as you see fit. It doesn't have to all be ready right at that moment. You can get experimental, test some things out and figure it out along the way. Not everything has to be like, okay, this is my game plan, blah, blah, blah. It's good to have a plan, but God laughs at our plans. Because there's God's plan and then there's man's plan. You realize nobody ever says man's plan because it's fickle. We have these fickle ideas of what can happen and what we need to work in. What's for us and what's not, and God will laugh like, because it's no joke, like his way is his way. So things are gonna happen the way they need to. Give y'all a little bit of some smoke. But yeah, it's like you can rest easy. That's what this card is really telling me. You can rest easy in the fact that you got something new on the threshold, and all you need to do is just be ready for that shit to go. Because at the very top, in the tip of the arrow, we talked about that forward motion, right? We have the Magician. So the Magician is very actionable energy. That's definitely fire energy. But it's also about you have to take stock of your tools, your powers, what things you possess to make that magic, to make that creative spark happen. So the Magician, like the sun, the Magician is fiery and light in the active male archetype. The ego in action, swift movement and organization. She starts projects, builds things, and creates through the fire of will. The fire of the will. So it's all about your willpower. If you're willing to be successful and you actionably do things to be successful, you will be successful. That's just how it is. Just like I said, when you put in the work, you talk with God, you talk with your higher source and your higher power, and you tell them what you want, and you actually do the things that lead toward you getting what you want, oh, they'll pull the strings and make it happen for you. If you're serious and your intention is correct, and you know what you want, God will make it happen. If he sees you doing the work that you need to be doing to get to where you want to be. So this is really telling me to be very, very actionable All of this. Use your intuition and be actionable. Take stock of the things that you have and know what's good for you and what's not. That's really all I'm getting from this. For real, because it's a lot of earth energy. It's a lot about keeping track of what you got and using what you have. Like, you have a lot of tools that you could be using. A lot of tools. And you might be very gifted, very talented, skilled. A lot of these seems like I'm getting a lot of craft work and like textiles because I'm seeing a lot of texture in the clothing. And then even this magician, this final card that I did, this magician, they got on like a foxy little jumpsuit or whatever, and it's about the material, baby. Get into the material. You got a lightning bolt coming down. You got water. You got earth. It's about being in that energy. You got fire, air, earth, and water. You pull from all sources to create and give birth. Go back to this card, this birth card. You're using everything you got in your repertoire, and you making that shit happen like it's magic. Because you can do it. You can do it. Do we need one more card to... Ooh, we got 2 cards that fell out. And then at the bottom, we got 3 of Cups. So let's just read the bottom of that. 3 of Cups. I'm getting emotional fulfillment. And we got more 3 energy, actually. Ooh, heavy 3. We got 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and then 9 of Swords. So I'm speaking the truth, but there's going to be a lot of people who aren't willing to hear that. They're not going to be willing to hear your success story or willing to think, oh, like they're not ready. They've been playing all this time. They haven't done what they needed to do. They're just bluffing again. They're not going to do nothing for real. Well, show them how it's done, honey. Because there's a lot of people trying to throw chaos your way. You might be going through a lot of different circumstances and situations that may make you feel impatient because you're sitting in this pregnant energy and you got this idea about to come forth. And there's people they just sitting at you, poking your belly while you're pregnant. And they're like, you ain't never gonna, just putting mad negativity into your baby, and it doesn't have to be your actual baby, but like whatever project or idea that you have coming forth, they might be poking holes in it and trying to put like negativity into it. Or like throw different things your way so you can't focus on it. As if that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So let's read the 3 of Cups first. That 3 energy is all about a synthesis of 1 and 2, a triangle, giving and receiving. So you have to make sure the things that you put into your life are actually, the things that you give your time and energy to, rather, are the things you actually need to be giving your time and energy to. Because some of us, we be sowing seeds into situations that we do not need to be involved in or see the fruits of. So it's about giving and receiving. Give to what gives back to you. Or start giving to what has been giving to you, because sometimes there's an opposite imbalance. It's not always we give too much. Sometimes we don't give enough, and there needs to be a balance. So like, I'm hearing give God thanks. Some people, maybe me included, need to start being more humble and more appreciative, and just grateful for the works that God has done. I'm gonna leave it at that. 3 of Wands, or no, I didn't read the Cups first, but I just read the overall 3 energy. Yeah, so 3, a synthesis of the 1 and 2. And I'm hearing somebody, I'm not the 1 or the 2, so stop playing with me. A triangle, giving and receiving. Let them know you're not the 1 or the 2 for real, because people be playing. They think they could just throw all this BS at you. You're not the one to mess with, especially if you truly aligned and walking in your purpose. Yeah. So we got this this cups energy, again, that's deep emotions and love. This 3 is group joy. 3 of cups, group joy, inspiration, muses, poetry, song, music, and artistic delight. So what did I say? Somebody in here has some type of talent or skill, or they're multi-talented, multi-skilled, and they're not using it, and they need to. So there could be collective joy and growth. And I'm saying collective because this is at the bottom of the deck, and it's the culmination of all the cards that haven't come out. So there's a lot of people. You see all these cards and how thick they are? There's a lot of people that would benefit from what you got going on, or what you could give to the world. And right under that, we have the world. Spirit is so funny. I was not expecting that. Let me get this paper away from the flame. What am I doing? 3 of Cups energy, right? Immediately underneath that is the world. You have the world in your hands. All you gotta do is just give your gifts to the world. Like when somebody's pregnant, the baby is theirs. They're the one taking care of it. Like they're the host. They're the one forming this new life in the womb. As soon as it comes out, it belongs to the world. Yes, it's yours. You gave birth to it, but you have to give it out to the world because it's gonna be in the world anyway. So just get comfortable with the idea of your gifts, your abilities being out in the world. If you're a musician, you're a singer, you're a painter, some type of creative, because this is all very creative energy too. Like use what you got in your tool belt. Use your paintbrush, use your pencil, use your voice, use your dance moves, your liturgical skills, your basics in ballet, dancing, modern jazz, whatever. Use whatever you got right now to give love and shine light, because there's a lot of people who could benefit from it, and that'll be collective joy, group joy, inspiration, muses, poetry, song, music, and artistic delight. You gotta use it. You got to, because other people need it too. It's not just for you. Other people don't. You need the baby. You want the baby. Other people will need that baby too. 3 of Wands, communication, teaching and learning, artistic endeavors, shared projects. So there could be a certain level of communication that you need to have with other people to let them know where you're coming from, because maybe they didn't believe you. Like I said, with this 9 energy, Shaman of Wands at the bottom, so there could be someone against you that is trying to block the way you communicate, or block your 111 as I see it on the clock now. There could be someone trying to block what you got going on. You know what I mean? And you just gotta transmute all that energy and be like, nah, there are people who want to hear what I have to say. There are people who want to see my artwork. There are people who like the way I create, that like what I do. So communicate your needs, the things you want to learn, and teach it to others as well. Like, don't be stingy. You gotta teach it to other people. And then we're gonna go to the Swords energy. Fears, anxiety, reversed. If it's reversed, confronting each fear so it becomes an ally. Fears, anxiety. So there could be a lot of things that you have either put on yourself because you're anxious. You're like, dang, I'm in this 3rd trimester. I'm pregnant as hell. And I'm scared now because it's about to pop and I don't know what's about to happen. You can't let that anxiety and that fear take over and poison your situation. You have to actively use that fear, because you're only fearful because you love something so much and you don't want to lose it, or you don't want to see it go to waste or see it get hurt. So put all those fears aside, or even more so, because we don't suppress. We don't just tuck away and hide. Work through your fears, figure out where they're coming from, and realize that those very same things that you're fearful of are what make you powerful. Because you're afraid of losing out on something. You're afraid of being misunderstood. People are going to misunderstand you. It's going to happen. If you take your fears as they will happen in some capacity or form, and you know that there's nothing you can do to change it, it relinquishes a lot of energy and control, because we can't control what comes to us. We can only control how we react to what comes to us. So whoever is messing in your energy or giving you, sowing these seeds of doubt or anxiety, kick them out. Kick them out. Go back to this four of disc energy and just tell them to go. Protect your peace, protect your space. It's about who you let into your circle. Also, don't tell everybody your business too. Don't be like, oh, I got this great venture and I want to do it. Just show up and do it. Because nobody goes like, oh, my water broke, I'm about to be pregnant. Like, maybe some bloggers do that. But 9 times out of 10, most people, when they're about to give birth, they're not trying to be on camera, or they're not trying to tell people like, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm about to give birth, I'm so excited. They focusing on the birth. So focus on your new birth. Whether that's you being reborn or the birth of this project. Focus on it and then just drop it. Because that's what happens. The water breaks and then the baby comes. There's no preparing for that. Ever. You can be prepared all day long. You're not going to know it till it's happening though. So I just say move forward fearlessly. Move forward with love and light. I think that's going to be it for this portion. I actually didn't expect this video to be this long, but I do want to pull from this Woodland Wardens, because a little bit of animal and plant energy. There may be some stuff that needs to be discovered, or some generalized messages, because I know I gave a lot of specifics. So, Woodland Wardens. What could be important for the collective to know? Spirit, tell me what they need to know. Okay, a couple cards fell. The ones that are grouped up in a stack, I'm not even gonna look at those. I don't even want to know what they were, so let's just keep shuffling. Okay, Spirit saying pick them up. It said no, I gave them to you for a reason. But all of them are in reverse, so what does that mean? Let's pick up the ones that are... How did I know the rabbit was going to come out? I just knew, because I saw this card. The antelope, or no, the goat and the willow. The goat in the willow. Overcoming obstacles. The hare and oak. The hare and oak. New opportunities. And then this last one is innocence. It's in reverse and it's 0 energy. We got 3, 11, and 0. The mouse and buttercup, innocence. The mouse and buttercup, innocence. And I'll just read off these because they all fell on the table and they're all in reverse. But we have the owl and hop. Hop is used to make beer, if I'm not mistaken. If you're familiar with that, hop is like a wheat or some type of like grain that is used to make beer. But the owl and hop, wisdom. We have the marten and foxglove, mischief. So there could be people messing around in your energy. Your name could be Martin. The show Martin from the 90s, that 90s sitcom could resonate for you. Martin and Gina, Tommy, Pam, Shanae. You could have a couple of Shanaes in your life that are just mad negative or like really kind of take away from the point of what you got going on, and they like try to throw distraction at you so you're riddled in fear and anxiety rather than like stepping into your purpose. So there could be some people in your life causing mischief, or you could be causing it yourself because this is in reverse. You could be overthinking and like not listening to your wisdom, your inner wisdom, and you just listen to what other people have to say. The next card we have is the raccoon and sycamore. Curiosity, the raccoon and sycamore. Curiosity. I think people think of raccoons as very mischievous, but I've actually grown to like them. A friend of mine really likes raccoons, and he kind of like turned my view of them around. Like I know y'all probably seen like the little videos of like a raccoon following a man around, like somewhere in the South, like the deep South, and he made a pet out of this raccoon. But people immediately assume raccoons are very mischievous. They're just curious. So you could just be like focusing on your curiosity and like learning more about yourself. Get curious, and get wise. And then we have the moth and eucalyptus in ending. And we already put that eucalyptus lemon on the table, so it's good that that came out. But the moth and eucalyptus. Doesn't it seem like moth season, y'all? I'm starting to see a lot more caterpillars, butterflies, and moths. I don't know if that's like a seasonal thing. I know butterflies typically come out in the spring and the summer, and then they a lot of times the caterpillars were like start to caterpillarize. They'll start to do what they do in the summer for real. But the moth and eucalyptus in ending, like a moth to a flame, right? So there could be a lot of people attracted to you because they know what you got going on. They know that you're pregnant and you got this eighth month pregnancy going, and you about to be on your 9th month, and eventually they know you're about to do something. So there could be a lot of people coming to you, and that energy may vary. So that's also why it's important to like keep house. Make sure you protect your energy from people coming in, and kick out the people who don't need to be there no more. Because sometimes people will definitely overstay their welcome and act like they're cool with you just to see the fruits of your labor and then try to benefit from them. Or if not benefit, try to pick your pockets and take your fruit. And if you've been growing this fruit for 8 months or whatever, or like you've been in this period of cultivating and growing it, don't let nobody take it. It's yours. So you need to protect what's yours. And that's really what the disc energy is about. Keeping stock of what is yours, getting rid of what is not, what is outdue, what is, what has expired, the expiration date, blah, 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 like kick it out, throw it out. But just be mindful. Just be mindful. So I'm going to put these back. The 3 main cards that fell out, though. Let's see. Do we need one more spirit? Yeah. So the one that came out, the horse and bluebell, modest fortitude. The horse and bluebell, modest fortitude. Make sure, because some people, they walk around like they shit don't stink. Make sure that you are solid within yourself and you know what you come with as a person. And don't think, oh, I'm on this high and mighty path, because God has a way of humbling. People have a way of humbling. And we do live on this earth in flesh and blood. So people have a way of humbling us when we least expect it. But sometimes that's God putting people in our lives to humble us. Just make sure you know what you got going on and you're confident in yourself, because that confidence and curiosity is going to lead to so much expansion and growth. You can have so much that expands from that. You just have to be sure of yourself. So because it's the last one I picked up, I'm going to read it. That is, Roman numeral XLIX. I think that's 69. I think that's 69. Or 49. Maybe I'm tripping. Are there even that many pages? Okay, so we have XL. We have XL, and then I'm trying to get to XLIX. Okay. The horse and bluebell. Modest fortitude. Its downcast blooms cause the bluebell to bow gently at its stem, symbolizing modesty. In contrast, the horse is a striking creature, proud and muscular. Able to bear great loads and travel long distances, it is known for its superior strength and stamina. Taken together, the horse and bluebell remind us that the greatest feats are the result of much humble practice. What did I say earlier? You have to put your head down, make sure you know what you got going on, practice as much as you can, learn your gifts, learn your skills, learn what tools you have in your belt so you can use them later. Upright, work quietly and consistently. The time to shine will present itself in the future. For now, focus on your process rather than its reward. I don't think it came out in reverse, but I'm gonna read it. Your yoke has grown heavy. Remember why you began on your journey. If the reason is worthy, continue pushing. Your efforts will make you strong. Okay. Work quietly and consistently. I think I said that too. Don't be telling everybody your business. If you have plans and there were people who shitted on your plans before, do not tell them what you have going on. Don't tell them your due date. You pop that baby out and you let it be what it is. You give it to the world and you let people receive it, if that's what you want to do. But be quiet and consistent. You have to consistently work that muscle. You have to consistently make sure you know how to use your tools. And that's how you move forward. But someone who is secure within themselves and is confident will get the job done every time. Especially if you're aligned with your higher purpose. If you're confident in that and you know what you're doing, you know what you got, you know what you bring to the table, and you know how to build the table, you know how to use it, you know how to set the table for dining, all that. If you're confident, you got it made. That's all that is. So we're going to go back, all the way back, to the Mouse and Buttercup, which is the very first one. It's 0. Innocence. Like the Fool in a tarot deck, the Mouse and Buttercup is numbered 0. And I almost said mount. I said mount. So again, that horse, something about that horse, but I'll continue reading. Like the Fool in a tarot deck, the Mouse and Buttercup is numbered 0. Both cards mark the start of a journey, and both remind us that we have much to learn. Mice are grounded and innocent, yet anyone who has dealt with mouse in their house knows that they are determined and highly adaptable. The mouse is paired with the humble buttercup, a symbol of childhood innocence. Have you ever held a buttercup under your chin? According to a centuries-old children's game, if the reflection of the flower glows yellow on your skin, it reveals that you like butter. Some of y'all may like butter. Some of y'all might like butter too much. Because this card was in reverse, actually, when I first picked it. So for the reverse, you may be unprepared for what you undertake. Consider how you might adapt and learn to better lay the groundwork for future endeavors. Some questions you can ask yourself: what do I hope to learn on this new path? What potential dangers should I look out for? So it sounds like to me you're on the right path, but you just need to be wary of your steps, like how you get there. You know what I mean? And that's why I said focus on the step and not the whole stairwell. You gotta move step by step with confidence and innocence, really. Be humble and be willing to learn as you go through this, because you're not gonna have everything figured out. It's not gonna be, oh, I'm taking one step, and I'm going up and I'm gonna keep elevating. Sometimes you're gonna have to slide down that banister and start at the bottom of the steps, or just take a step back. But it's step by step. You have to work and power yourself through each step. Don't worry about the stairwell and how many steps you gotta take. Do each step and be humble and innocent in the process of learning and teaching. Because this is about a new journey that you're about to embark on. You could have been building up your, you could have been packing for like a camping trip. Let's just say that. You were packing for a camping trip or whatever, and you've been waiting to go on this trip, and you've just been waiting on the perfect time to go. It's about to be go time. But just because you got all your camping gear, that doesn't mean there's going to be some things that get thrown in the way. And you're going to have to utilize your tools and figure out how you can make what you got work. You know what I mean? If it starts raining and there was no forecast for rain, you got a tarp in your bag, you got some twine. All right. New opportunities. Hares are often symbols of fertility and love, associated with the Celtic goddess Eostre. They represent springtime, a season of birth and abundance. A variety of ancient cultures have linked the oak tree with bravery and vitality. In ancient Greece, the oak was revered as the tree sacred to Zeus. So again, that Greek energy is coming through. We have the goddess Sophia, the goddess of wisdom, along with intuition, and also goddess Isis for Egyptian. Um, and then we also have the goddess Themis, who I think is the goddess of justice, or law, like universal law. So we also have Zeus. In Norse mythology, it represented the tree of life. In an ancient Celtic, and Druidic cultures, the oak was associated with the god Dagda. It's a celebration of good fortune and order. If you have been in a caregiving role, this is a reminder that your sacrifices will be repaid. So if you've been carrying this baby and you've been nurturing and caring for it, you will be paid for your work, nurturing and caring for this life, for this new project, this baby. What can you celebrate today? What exciting opportunities should you follow up on? Okay, sounds like very promising energy. We have the goat and the willow next, which is 11.